年11月的一天，上海斯沃琪和平饭店艺术中心内一间别致的会客室中，斯沃琪集团全球首席执行官、现年61岁的尼克·海耶克接受了财新时间的专访。他一身 polo 衫、牛仔裤外加休闲西装外套的搭配，简单而随性。作为斯沃琪集团创始人，被称为瑞士钟表之父的尼古拉·海耶克的儿子尼克·海耶克，比着他精明保守的生意人父亲，似乎更具备艺术家特质。1977年，小海耶克毕业于瑞士圣加伦商学院，之后进入法国自由电影学院学习电影。80年代中期，小海耶克创立了芝麻电影公司，为瑞士国家电视台拍摄过一系列纪录片。1994年，小海耶克加入斯沃琪集团。2003年，接替他的父亲担任斯沃琪集团全球首席执行官。2010年，老海耶克去世后，尼克·海耶克进入斯沃琪集团董事会，担任集团董事及全球首席执行官。在接受财新时间专访时，海耶克说：“通过创新来改变人们的生活习惯，是斯沃琪品牌的独特魅力，也是他与父亲所共同奋斗的目标。”
Swatch when changed the habits of people. The Swatch watch. You know what the name Swatch means?
Second watch?
Yes. It's second watch, and this means that we changed habits of people.
Yeah.
30 years ago. So people started to change watches, you know. You have at some time you have no watch, and then you put the watch on the wrist, you change it when you go to the holidays, when you go to the opera, when you go to the theater, when you go to a dinner, you change brands.
When you change your clothes.
And Swatch had the strength through innovation to change habits of people, and this meant that you created a whole market. And this is what is so unique about Swatch. And then we gave the artists a canvas on the wrist. You know, when you wear something on the wrist, it's emotional. You get it as a gift, or you keep it, you buy it yourself. And this creates emotion and feelings. And artists, we had many artists, they wanted to work with Swatch because they said, look, we create paintings. Keith Haring, for example, who was one of the first artists working with Swatch. He didn't want it to be blocked in the museum. He said, who is going into a museum? 1% of the population.
Really?
Not more.
Okay.
You know, many people who go to museums and they look at the pictures.
But it's always crowded in museums.
Yes, when you go to the Louvre.
Yeah.
You want to see Mona Lisa, that's the only thing. The artists want be in the street with the normal people, with the simple people. And then they use Swatch to be with the people. And that's the unique strengths of Swatch and the Swatch Group, that we are strong enough to create new products and to change habits of people. And that's what my father tried with the car.
作为世界制表业巨头，斯沃琪也致力于将其时尚、亲民、实用的品牌理念延伸至其他领域。20世纪80年代，斯沃琪创始人尼古拉·海耶克看准微型汽车市场，希望以斯沃琪制表理念为基础，打造一款时尚多彩、小巧袖珍、主要用于城市内行驶的新型汽车，既便捷又环保。1994年，斯沃琪集团与梅赛德斯奔驰签订合作条款，推出 Smart 微型车，这其中的 S 就代表斯沃琪。
Everyone knows your father was a
Yes.
watch king, but
Yes.
a few people knows he was also a clean tech fan.
You know, he was an entrepreneur. Watches is one side.
Yeah.
But the other side was that he said, if China, India, all these countries with so much population,
Yeah.
they want to drive cars, and we drive with the same cars that we drive in the United States or in Switzerland or in Europe,
Yeah.
the world will die.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
problem.
possible.
Yeah, appears.
And he said also, we cannot defend the people. Chinese people, they will stop to go with bicycles at one point of time. They want to drive with cars. We
And
cannot
they
stop them.
deserve to drive better cars.
And they deserve to have better cars.
Yeah.
And the mobility, driving is fun. You cannot tell the people you have not the right to drive. So we have to convince the people that you can have a fun, beautiful car, can be non-expensive, can be expensive, but it's environmentally friendly. And that's why he came up with the idea, a car with 2 seats, and you can put 2 cases of beer in the back. Only a 2-seater. Because he said that, but most of the people in the morning when they go to work, they drive alone in the car.
Yes.
And that's why the smart car was his passion. And he said the world needs to have new technology, but to give the people fun and to be useful for the next generation. And then he made his project. We have a nice documentary about that, yes. two times 50 minutes. And then we failed to make the car. Because we needed the car producers, the European car producers. First we tried with Volkswagen, didn't work. And then with Mercedes-Benz. And Mercedes, we have a good relationship, but they still think car. They still think, you know, all these engineers, they think about how they always did cars. They bring a little bit of innovation, but they are not courageous to make the change. And you see it now with the Volkswagen scandal, with the diesel.
Yeah, it's quite inspired about, we think more about the environment-friendly engine.
Yes, but you know, it's sad to say it's inspiring because they cheated the Volkswagen with their diesel engine. But this means they didn't want to make real progress. They tried to manipulate testing instead of saying the world needs cleaner engines. We need it. Yeah. Look what's happening in many cities of the world. Yeah. Look at Beijing, for example, who is suffering about the smog.
Pollution, yes.
And I think China can be my father, who is not anymore with us since 5 years now, but if he would see China now, he would be very happy to see what you are doing here, because you have the problems, like we have in New York, like we have in Paris, like we have in London, everywhere in the world, but in China, you have the spirit to make the change. When you see what the government is trying to do, to change the regulations, to innovate, to push the people to change their habits, it's perfect. And that's why we started to think about China.
近年来，作为传统制表商的斯沃琪逐步显现出进军智能手表领域的雄心，而如何解决智能手表电池续航时间不足的问题，则成为研发重点。今年5月，海耶克在接受媒体采访时曾透露，斯沃琪正联手其旗下研发集团 Belenos 和电池生产商 Renata， 计划在2016年推出一款针对智能手表的电池，续航时间将达到6个月。同时，海耶克表示，这款电池同样也适用于汽车。
The project, but I don't know about the battery.
Yes.
And what's the key benefits about the battery? You know, many companies, they put so much investment, innovate.
I know. You see, on one side, we have a research and development company. We created this. It's called Belenos. It's a Greek name, the son of the god, and it's research and development with the universities of Switzerland, of Zurich. We have George Clooney in the shareholding. He likes very much environmentally friendly cars. And we have the majority, the Swatch Group inside. And so we started to make research and development on batteries and on fuel cells. We went on 2 directions. But at one point of time, we saw that we have a strong breakthrough in new materials, vanadium, and we saw that we have a 30% to 40% improvement in the energy density, the patent. We found the material, we mix it the right way.
And still your business secret, your know-how?
Yes, not the material itself, but the mix. It's the mix between how we are treating it, how we are producing it. But this is only one side. You see, what is unique is that the Swatch Group and Belenos have a strong research and development. We are really the leaders. But on the other side, we have also a battery company. Renata, it's one of the leading battery companies in the world for small batteries. And we produce, you know how many batteries per day?
800,000?
Yes.
Button. It's button batteries.
Not only button, you know, you have many different batteries. And we are the leading manufacturer, of course, for watches, but also for pacemakers, for hearing aids, for everything which is small. And now you must know, a car battery is many small batteries put together. It's not a big battery. The big battery is done from many small ones. So if you master the small one, you make the big one. There's no problem. It's much easier if you master the small things. It's like a chip manufacturer. We have also a chip factory in Switzerland, the only one in Switzerland. And our microchips are working with the energy. I give you an example. If you have a lamp that has 60 watt, a light bulb. What do you think? 1 second of energy of this lamp, how long our microchip is working? 7 years. The energy of 1 second of the lamp, a 60-watt lamp, we don't need more energy to let him work 7 years. So we are specialized on small things, low energy consumption. That we have the battery and the new material. We tested it. When you take the benchmark of Tesla and Panasonic.
I know the Baleno battery, at least for 2 key points, is smaller and more powerful and more efficient.
Yeah, you can recharge it. You know, it's double the speed to charge it again. And if you take the same weight of a Tesla Panasonic battery today in a Tesla car, and you have the same weight, you run at least 30% further in distance. Or you reduce the battery by 30% in weight. Let's say instead of 500 kilo, you have 340 kilos, and then you run the same distance. Or you keep the same weight in the car, and you run not 450 kilometers, you run 750 kilometers. This is a huge difference. So
and it can charge even faster?
Yes, 100% faster.
And may I ask, because about this battery, there's still some problem, such as explosion.
No.
That's quite worried about the safety.
The way we mix the material, there's no danger. I mean, there's always a danger with everything you do, but there is no danger of fire because it's not a lithium battery, you know. It's not dangerous that it gets overheated and then it gets in fire.
How can you
we
be
were
so
looking
secure?
for material. Don't forget, we make watches. They are on the skin. So we know we should not make batteries that are dangerous because batteries can be swallowed by children. Batteries can, you transport them with you, they are on your skin.
Also polluted
and that's
water.
why we are careful in what we are doing. We are the developers of the first green battery in watches.
Green battery? How?
Green battery means that you use material that are not polluting, that you don't use quicksilver, for example, and all these kind of things. And our ambition to change the habits of the people, and we will be able to produce in Switzerland, but also in other countries where we are building factories, batteries that are giving a much stronger performance for e-bikes, e-scooters and cars. And this will be the basics for the change of the habits of the people. Because you need a performance and you need the possibility to buy a cheaper battery.
Why you have your factory in Switzerland?
In Switzerland. And you know why we can produce watch in Switzerland? Because we were so innovative. A normal watch movement has 120 pieces. Swatch uses only 51 pieces. We integrated some of the pieces inside the case. This is a total new patented way of doing a product. And if you use only 51 pieces instead of using 120 pieces, you have less of cost of production. It's more reliable because you have less pieces that can fail. And that's how we could, until today, produce watch in Switzerland. We didn't have to go somewhere else. Now, if we talk about the battery, why do we have the battery factory in Switzerland? Because we are close to the development of the watches. Because we need to communicate. That's what I said before. We were the first one who introduced the touch screen in the world of watches. Before the mobile phones had touch screens. Tissot introduced in the early 2000s the touch screen. And mobile phones didn't have touch screens. We were the first ones to use it. And why could we introduce the touch screen in the watch? Because we developed the screen, the tactile, the microchip in our own factory, and we talked with the battery producer, Renata, that they should develop a battery that can give us enough energy to make it happen. And this is only possible if you are close. You know, you take your car and you drive 20 kilometers and you're in the factory from the research and the development of the watches. And this is an advantage, it's together. Now, for the batteries, I agree with you. Swiss-made is not the big issue. Because if you buy a car or an e-bike, the question is not about is the battery Swiss-made or not. It's reliable, it is quality, and does it perform much better than anybody else to a better price. Of course, we will produce the first series in Switzerland. But then we will, and that's our objective with partners, and here China. China is the country with the most open spirit because you have a young car industry. You have open engineers. Your people in China, they want to try new things because you want to do a car for your people that's environmentally friendly. You need to do it because of the smog and the problems. And this is an opportunity to export a car in the world because this is an opportunity. And that's why we felt already that in China, the engineers are very open. They want to know. They want to try new things. Don't do cars in the hand. They are curious. They want to know. And that's why we are planning to not only produce batteries in Switzerland, but to make it also in China. And because it would be stupid to produce the batteries in Switzerland and then you spend all this energy that you save with good batteries and you transport it by ship to China. So the plan is to build a factory of batteries in China. But the best would be, of course, with a China-made car that is unique and that would be a hit to be exported in the world, and not just to China, but also internationally.
Maybe not only China-made, and China-designed, China-innovated. Yeah.
I think that there is a big opportunity for the Chinese car industry on electrical cars, on environmentally friendly cars to compete. You know, what you need is the mass of people. It's not the luxury who is changing the world. It's not the Rolls-Royce, it's not the Ferrari, it's not the Bentley, it's not the prestige who is changing the world. In the watch industry, Swatch has changed the habits. Not the luxury brands, not Omega, not Rolex, not Patek, not Breguet.
That's because
they have not changed the habits of the people. They don't bring the innovation. Swatch brought the innovation.
谈到推动斯沃琪不断创新的动力，海耶克认为，斯沃琪需要的是独立独行、打破陈规的人才。海盗精神是斯沃琪的发家之本，要始终保持7岁孩童般的好奇心，不停地去探险，对现有的规则不能一味接受，要学会质疑和挑战。
Why you have George Clooney as your board member?
Because he thinks about the next generation. You know, George Clooney is a very conscious man. He's only doing things he really likes and he loves. When he heard that we do battery, we want to do the world better with giving cars that are less polluting, he immediately wanted to invest, and he told a very interesting story about the technical progress. He's a friend of Jay Leno. Jay Leno is a talk master in the United States. And he's a collector of cars, Jay Leno. And George Clooney knows him. So George Clooney bought an electrical car, and then he met Jay Leno. Jay Leno has hundreds of cars. He's a car collector, a car fan. And he's a talk master, very famous in TV. And then George Clooney met him and said, hey, I bought an electrical car. And then Jay Leno told him, oh, I have one that I bought 30 years ago. And he said, oh, fine. And then Jay Leno asked George, yeah, how far can you drive? He said about 350 kilometers. And then Jay Leno said, me too. So means that 30 years ago, you had the same autonomy than today. So means that
no improvement
30 years, nothing. Because the car industry had no interest. And today you have the same situation. The oil prices are low.
Yes.
They want to amortize the big investments in their cars, in their engines. They have no intention to innovate. It's only when pressure is coming, when the people get conscious, when when there is an alternative, if there is somebody coming not from the car industry, and that's why Swatch Group comes with this battery.
I'm interested, the board members of Banana also have a banker, actor George Clooney, and also an astronaut, right?
Yes, Claude Nicollier, but he's also in the board.
Why you have the astronaut?
You know, he's also in the board of Swatch Group, not only in Bellenos. Swatch Group and Bellenos was always run. If you make innovation and new products, you need to be independent.
Of course.
And you need spirits of people that are independent. You don't need people coming from universities and having MBAs. You need people who did something extraordinary, who come from different areas.
Need people unique and different.
Yes, and with personalities. Mr. Nicolier was the first astronaut of Switzerland.
Yeah.
And he is a fantastic personality. He thinks out of the box. You know, when you sit with him and you talk with him, he's not telling you the stories from the school or from the bankers. He tells you other stories. And he has an opinion that's important for us. The same George Clooney. George Clooney is giving another view. Yeah. He is popular. And you need this kind of people. These are important people. And they are, of course, totally unconventional. And we have always been like this, our company. We give nothing on the way, you know, we don't have to come with a tie. You can come with jeans. We are not a standard company. We don't have private planes in our company. We are simple. We think about the consumer. And that's why our board is full of these kind of people that are coming from different areas. And this lets us to be the most innovative company, certainly in the watch industry.
So have they really brought some new spirits to Swatch Group?
My father brought the new spirit into Swatch Group. You know, I have something from, my father always told me, and to all of us, keep the spirit of your 7 years. When you're a child, you ask everything. For me, it's far, you know, I have gray hair. You is much closer to childhood.
Okay.
But when you're a child, you have the courage to ask all questions. You don't care if somebody would say, no, don't ask this question. And that's why I have, for example, in front of my office, hanging out of the building, is a pirate's flag. It's hanging out there, a pirate's flag. Because the pirate's flag means challenge all the rules. Don't just accept the rules. If somebody says, you have not the right to do this, or you should not do this, I ask why. Explain me why. Okay, I understand that certain things we should not do, but you have to tell me why. I will not just accept it. And this is the philosophy of our company. We want to challenge the rules, because rules are usually put out there to standardize, to make everything equal, to make everything comparable. But the world is not comparable. Every single individual is not comparable to the other one. That's the nice thing. You cannot compare, and the world wants to compare all the time. But the extraordinary you cannot compare. And that's why, that's the philosophy of the company. And that's how we made our battery also, not just our watches, that we are courageous, we invest the money, and that's how we find results, because we are totally unconventional. But on the other hand, we are very conventional, because we put research together with production.
Of course. That's the way combined together make something unique.